Everyone, and welcome to this part two in Celle's transformative healing journey here at the farm, where she is spending 3 months deep diving into her gut health. And every week we share a new episode about her journey and her progress. So, yeah, welcome to the second episode. How are you today, Monday morning?
Monday morning. Yes, it was a heavy start, feeling very much um, physically heavy
Mm,
and fogginess in my mind.
mm.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, we will come to we will explore today's events a little bit later. But first, we will actually share a little bit more about what is it that you are experiencing with your stomach. Like why because we didn't do that in the first episode. So what is it? What kind of symptoms are you experiencing with your stomach, and then how long have you had them?
My main symptom is stomach pains and cramps. And I've had that on a daily basis for yeah, more than 3-4 years now. Um, yeah, and but previous to that, I've also had diagnosis of SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, a leaky gut, candida, and gastritis
Hmm. Yeah.
as well. Yeah, and lots of acne. Right now, my skin is better than it's been in like years. I used to have hair and going down on my neck, and losing hair. I had much deeper, yeah, loss of hair, and
You
that's
used to have that?
yeah, I had that, and it's beginning to grow back real nicely.
Mm.
I have had a lot of um, wind, so to speak, and bloating and fatigue and a lot of mental fogginess.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, Is the mental fogginess that you mentioned just right now, do you feel like it's the same mental fogginess or is it different? The one that you're experiencing now, the one that you used to have?
It's different.
Okay.
Yeah, with the detox and the fasting, it's different, and I feel what I do is like I space out a lot, so I
Mm.
notice my attention is like meow, meow. My eyes are like living their own life, literally.
Yeah.
So I need to like, hello, I'm home, come back. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're going through a very deep transition, so it's not strange. I mean, we're working with the physical, the emotional, and the nervous system, and all of it at the same time. So it's not strange at all. But
Mhm.
so you've been here for 2 weeks now, uh, and been spending your days deep diving into the different areas of things that we offer here and exploring yourself fully. So,
Mhm.
what would you see that the main connection is that you make between your gut issues um, and the way that you feel?
I think there's two main areas that I have identified so far, and it's one is when my body and nervous system is really stressed, and then yeah, the psoas muscles and other things starts to contract, and so does my stomach. So it starts like contracting really hard. So that can initiate the pains. And then I've also noticed a lot when I work with emotions that it can be activating the pain as well as releasing them.
Mm.
So there's definitely a very, very clear emotional connection to what's going on in my gut.
Yeah. And the nervous system that you mentioned is also very interesting because when the nervous system is activated, the self-healing mechanisms are turned off, and also is the digestion. So when we have long-term activation in the nervous system, and also the gut is like the emotional, like epicenter where we store everything, and it's connected. Yeah, you also, I feel like you also experienced a little bit of connections with the diaphragm. You've been exploring that a little bit also,
Yes,
um,
that's
both
true.
in the first and the second week, that you notice that when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're not breathing fully.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big discovery for me. So I wake up either many times a night or I wake up around 2 3, and now I have this practice of getting up out of bed to break that pattern, because what I've noticed getting out of bed and getting out of that loop when I'm just tossing and turning for like 3 4 hours until it's time to go and meditate. So we're like trying to create a new pattern, right?
Mm.
And what I've noticed is that my diaphragm is like a stone. Like I cannot get the breath down towards my belly. It gets like blocked here.
Mm.
And then what I've learned, so the diaphragm is also the pump that lets the, and the breath, of course, that circulates the energy from the head to the root chakra or the pelvic area. And if that stops moving, the energy gets blocked, and so the energy and the movement that would naturally be moving in my gut isn't moving at all, and I just like tense up like
Yeah.
a rock in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I spend time stretching it, waking it up, relaxing the nervous system, and doing exercises I've learned here, or tools to get my body to relax and get the breathing going. And then I go back to sleep, go back to bed, and I sleep well again. Yeah,
That's amazing. That's really fantastic.
yeah, yeah. That's a big one, because me and I've been sleeping poorly for on and off my entire life, but now it's
Mm.
been a long years of disturbed sleep. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's deep dive a little bit into what we mean when. So uh, you come to the conclusion that, okay, so this is stress and emotion related. So what kind of, so that means, okay, digging deeper, going a little bit deeper inside, looking at your patterns and your behaviors, and you found a couple of things that you feel like, wow, this is really activating my nervous system, this is my pattern. What have you found so far? Can you give
Um,
some examples?
yeah. So I do have a lot of, I've identified a lot of performance pressure
Mm.
that I put on myself to, and in how how this has been showing here at the retreat, when the space is calm. I have my daily schedule, and I would say in between each schedule, I have like 2 hour slots of of free time or rest, and I would fill them with reading, like books on the topic, or watching podcasts on the topic, or listening to meditations on just like continuously like feeding myself like what I consider high vibe content, but it's also feeding that pattern of me always wanting to perform, getting better, developing.
Mm.
And yeah, and so now I'm seeing that I'm allowing myself um, to explore not doing that basically,
Yeah.
and more have this like, okay, what is focusing more on resting and just being, because that can be very challenging to do nothing.
Yeah.
But also like wait for like inspired action, not just like grabbing the next book because I'm bored and I don't really want to like feel what I'm feeling, and I like and I disappear into a book. So
Mm.
it's also like an escapism for me,
Yeah.
reading and podcasts.
Yeah. Consuming a lot of material. Yeah. I mean, we had that discussion, and we realized that you feel like, oof, you need to do more and more and more and more. I have
Mhm.
to do more, and healing is doing less and doing the right things at the right time. So that's a massive shift that we're going into now on the third week,
Yeah, it
like
is.
moving away from that and stepping more into relaxation, and maybe
Yeah.
signing up for a couple of more massages or
Maybe,
something like
maybe
that. Yeah.
putting this putting the phone on flight mode and gently away.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I had another massive, for me, realization this weekend when we were just hanging out and we ended up talking. And that was my future.
Mm.
And this, yeah, the fear of letting go of controlling the future, imagining it, planning it, visualizing it. uh, Basically what I've been doing my entire life, like optimizing my future through careful planning.
Mm.
um, and that, when I, after our call, and I went back home and I was just like feeling into that, like really, like honestly, like to let go of the attachment, all the things that I wish for myself in the future. My whole body went into like a massive fear
Mm.
wave, and it came up so much fear around like leaving the mind out of it and
Mm.
being open to what can be created if my mind is not there to control the outcome on the future. And I've also, with that, I've also noticed the gigantic amount of time I spend in the future, thinking
Yeah.
about it, analyzing it, like contemplating it, and all of that. And now, like stepping away from that's like, whoo, that's that's gonna need some time and work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's about acknowledging and seeing what we're doing and realize, okay, when as soon as I'm doing that, I'm activating the nervous system. I'm stressing the whole body, and I'm stressing. I'm just pouring in more and more fear into the system,
yeah,
and realizing what we're doing and how we're doing that, and stopping that, and allowing the fear to come up in a
mm,
more progressive way where we can work with it instead and release it instead of just allowing it to circulate and go round
yeah.
and round and round, and kind of cultivate the fear.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing. It was a massive emotional release, and for me, being so closed off, emotionally shut down, like when I get in touch with an emotion and things are coming up, I'm like, hallelujah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy, even though it's a very intense experience. I'm just like so happy things are like waking up and things are
Yeah.
coming in, so I don't carry it around anymore.
Yeah.
And you, because you said one sentence that really hit home, and it's like, don't limit your future by assigning your mind to create it.
Mm.
And just like, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I write that down.
I have.
Okay, good. Yeah, so because one of the things that we noticed very quickly when you arrived was that you were very activated in the nervous system, and that you were quite shut off from expressing emotions and feeling emotions, and that you were very, very good at just, as soon as they come up, you just like this. You even
Yeah,
had one of those experiences, and you could see in real time, like, oh, that's what I'm doing.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
such a golden thing to find.
I found another one today. I
Oh,
saw it
really?
again today. Yeah. I was getting up from sitting down and I have low blood pressure. So now when I'm on a detox, I need to get up really slowly because I get
Yeah.
woozy. And it took me so long to get up because I was continuing getting woozy that I got frustrated and I kicked the pillow. And then the feeling was gone. So it's this like external reaction of like either like just like "Ah!" or yeah, kicking the pillow that makes the feeling go away. So now it's 2 times I've seen this. So we're on to
Yeah.
something.
So what we are encouraging you to do, so we just share to the viewers that we are encouraging you to stay in the emotion and to express it and to be with it and to allow it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're getting there step by step.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very cool. And you've had a couple of other big emotional releases. So you are getting in contact with, we had the fire ceremony and we had like a lot of, we don't have to go into depth into that, but you have some personal stuff coming up. And so things are starting to come to the surface because you've
Yes.
had not just small releases, you've had like real deep ones,
Yeah.
which is really shifting the chemistry in the body. So
Mm.
that's very,
Yeah. And the
very
body
cool.
like, feeling safe having those big emotional expressions. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big one. Yeah.
And what about the detox? So you started fasting.
Mm-hmm.
We're entering week 2 of fasting.
Yep.
How's that been so far?
Uh, it's been good. It's been pretty easy on me, I would say. It's been a very delicious grapefruit juice until like yesterday, and the one I'm drinking today it's so sour. I miss the sweet juice, but yeah, it's going good. I had a couple of one day or 2 days where I've been like going a little bit food crazy and thinking a lot about food and having to work through that. But otherwise, pretty stable, I would
When
say.
did you have that food, like a little bit of cravings?
Tuesday, so second day.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just looking to see if it was related with this morning's experience. Or last
Mm.
night it was last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because usually they are related.
Because I think they kind of are. Because yesterday, um, after you wrote my schedule for the week, and you said we're gonna do some extra Shinnesang this week because it's perfect to do when you're fasting, then I was just like, okay, it's gonna be another week of fasting. Now I know that, and I was just like, then I was getting back to like, I was looking through this like detox book and reading all the recipes, so the salad
Okay.
dressing.
Okay. So you had some of that yesterday.
Yeah, I had some of that
Okay.
yesterday, and
Yeah.
then
What
yeah.
else happened yesterday?
Well, so since I don't know 5 6 days, I've been doing a daily enema.
Yep.
What is an enema?
Enema is a colon cleanse with water that you do
That's
by yourself.
yeah, so it's a colon cleanse, and
Yeah.
so I did that last night, and ugh, out comes like it was horrible. Anyways, it was like a big blob, black with like gray tentacles floating around, and I was just like, oh, it was and then yeah, I told you this morning, and you were like parasites, and I was this
You're like,
still
really?
yeah. I thought it was just like old food that I was clogged up or something.
No,
Yeah.
because this reaction and the fact that you had the food cravings and everything, and that you feel like everything is shifting, and also the incident this morning where the body starts to releasing, that means that the body wants to release something very fast, and it found something.
Mm,
So no, it's definitely, and since you've been diagnosed with candida also, then it's very clear that that's not what
yeah.
it's not an old sandwich.
Yeah, and
And that's
obviously
fantastic.
it is fantastic.
Yes.
Because it's also what happened. I got so back into my motivation for continuing doing the fast. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is, I can see it. I can see the change. It's tangible.
Yeah.
Let's go. Continue,
Yeah.
continue, continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. and so I'm
So
grateful for
we're
that.
going to continue with the fast, and so when we're doing this gut program, we're moving very slowly. We're not adding a lot of things and mixing things. We're adding one thing at a time. So we added the fast, and then we added the enemas, and now when the body is showing it's starting to release, and the parasites are releasing by itself, we're going to add in some more boost for the candida and the parasites with herbs.
Yes.
And what I felt with you from very early on, that we will not add herbs in form of capsules. We will add in either liquid or something that you dissolve. So I have ordered more candida and parasites in the liquid form for you. So that's going to be interesting to add on
Hmm.
more support for the body.
Yeah, beautiful.
Um, But that's also why it's interesting if you have a lot of brain fog, if you feel very tired, if you feel very emotional, because when we are releasing the candida and the parasites, um, that can be, you can kind of feel what emotion is stuck with the candida or the parasites. When it's leaving the body, you're also experiencing the emotions that is connected to it. So that can be quite and yeah, you can kind of feel that the body is working on something, and yeah, so just follow along and bring whatever comes up to the sessions, and yeah, just work on it and just allow the body to release. If you feel something, you feel something. It can also be in terms of memories. All of a sudden, there's this event that happened one time, you never thought of it again, and that comes up. Things like that. So
Mm.
just observe it like a movie, and enjoy the the letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will be adding. So when we create the programs here at the farm, we create a program when you arrive, and just to get started, and then we update that week by week. So there's no fixed plan. But since you had one Chinate Sang last week, and you really, really enjoyed that, and you got
Mm.
a lot of good results from that, adding in the Chinate Sang during this period of time, during the fasting, is very good. But it's so good to do many of them in a row. So we've
Mm.
added in multiple Chinate Sangs for you this
Yeah.
week. So what did you experience from the Chinate Sang last week?
So Chinetsang is a stomach massage that also work on the organs as well on the psoas muscle that is inside the hip and pelvic bone area. And it's an interactive massage where I also do what do you say, sounding?
Yeah, the sounds.
Yeah, together with Simba. Uh, each sound for a particular organ, and also being conscious about, okay, so like the liver is connected with anger, and the large intestine with sadness, and feeling what comes up. And yeah, my first of all, when we began, my stomach was like a brick. It was like
Mm.
hard, tense. There was like nothing moving, and bit by bit it was opening up. And it was, yeah, it was just such a great feeling to like have this physical um, body work
Yeah.
with the organs. I like
Mm.
that. And then we worked a lot on the psoas muscle just inside the hip bone, and I could feel like tension running deep all the way down my thighs, just like holy moly. And like it was like my whole womb area was just like
Mm.
so tight. Uh, Quite intense, quite painful, but afterwards I had like this feeling of absolute euphoria in my body, and it was like wave after wave
Oh
of
wow.
happiness. Like
Mm.
my body was just like showering me with happiness, and I
Wow.
was oh, it was amazing. That has never happened before in that way, and it was just so clear that the body absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So the Chinitang is a Taoist stomach abdominal massage, where you release the tension in the organs, and you also it's a emotional detox for the organs. So that's why you do with sound and pressure, acupressure at the same time. So you work with the practitioner. It's a very yeah, you work together. But what Simba also does is that, I mean, because he has like, I don't know, 10 different massage, different styles of certification. So he's working super intuitively. So he will follow the organism and use different kind of styles where he feels so he can follow the energy and open it up. That's why you start to work with the psoas, because that's not traditionally included in the Chin Tsang. So, but he can follow the body and see where the energy wants to go and see where it's tense. And I think it was very interesting this weekend when we shifted the narrative and how we describe an emotional blockage to a protection.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's um, really aligned with what you're describing in the stomach, that it's not a blockage. If you feel, if you look at it as a protection, like,
Mm.
what do I need to do then?
Yeah, it shifts it a lot.
Yeah, so then, oh, it's nurturing, it's safety, it's releasing the tension, following the tension, where is the tension, and how do I create that tension in the body,
Hmm. Yeah.
and slowly opening up like a flower and allowing the emotions that are there to just come out, and just
Mm.
allow yourself to be you, you know, who you are, and that anything that happened is okay, because it's, yeah, you are able to hold space for yourself while you process. So it's a beautiful process.
It is beautiful.
That's,
Many little baby steps making
yes,
the journey.
yeah,
Yeah.
well done. Anything else that you would like to add?
Gratefulness. Thank you
Mm,
so much for another amazing week, and the support and the love and the beautiful mirroring your day in and day out. I am so blessed with. So grateful for be here and super happy to share it like this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I love it. I think this is super valuable, and sharing your journey and like teaching people how things are connected. It's very important. So thank you so much for that. In September 4, we will have an online 4-week program focusing on the gut health, where we will share everything that we go through here with you these 12 weeks. We're really deep diving into the gut. And while we do that, we will put everything together, and it will be a 4-week program online where you can design your own gut health program. It can be 4 weeks, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months. We will give you all the bits and pieces and the bricks that you need to create your own program if you cannot come here to the farm and stay with us and do the same thing that Celestine is doing. So yeah, it's not released yet, but I am sharing the information. So if you want to know more, if you want to sign up and make sure you get all the information, just send me a message and I will make sure that you get everything. And if you are more curious about our retreats, you can always read more at livingwiththespirit.com, or just send me a message. I'm happy to answer. All right,
Hmm.
Monday. Yeah, it's time for lunch almost.
Yep.
More juice for you. We'll
Excellent.
check in with them and see if they add extra lemon, if it's extra sour. See if we
Yeah.
can get it a little bit sweeter.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Lots of
Bye
love.
bye.
Bye.